Two, one. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerd is the New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, with my co-host.
This is Eli.
Yep, and we're back with another episode. And Eli, before we start anything, I have to make an announcement.
Oh yeah.
LeBron James has gone to the LA Lakers.
I don't know what that means, but right on.
I just had to get that shit out the way before we get to the nerd shit. I just heard that like right before we was about to start podcast, like, oh shit, what the hell? So my timeline is going crazy about that. So anyway, that's that. Now we can get into some sad news, and I want to say, yeah, rest in peace to Toys R Us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about this last year. Like I said, it was actually a pretty popular clip we had last year about it, about how we were saying what was happening to Toys R Us and the writings on the wall. But now it's happened. It's done. All the stores are done. That's it. So you haven't got a chance to go to Toys R Us. That is it. Matter of fact, Eli, didn't their owner pass away not too long ago?
I think so. I think we gave a shout out to him.
I think we gave a shout out to him also. For those that don't know, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Lazarus. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
so it's a play on words, Toys R Us, And so pretty sad because and people already have the memes out. They have the what was the Jeffrey Giraffe, the mascot for Toys R Us. Everybody had a mascot in the 80s. That was the thing. And then, the meme was, I don't feel so good. And then you see him fading away like the Thanos thing. From what do they call it? The snapping or the snapture.
Yeah.
They have so many names for that thing right now. It's been memed itself. So yeah, rest in peace to Toys R Us. Let me say, moving on to the next news. Yeah, Joe Jackson died. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson did.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of Joe Jacksons. I gotta think of which one.
Well, not the Joe Jackson from down the street or the one you work with. I mean, if anything happened to him, we'll give him a shout out too, But yeah. Yeah, a moment of silence for Joe Jackson. Okay, that's it. Moving on. Let me ask you about it, because here's the thing. Joe Jackson is a controversial figure. Yes, he made the Jackson 5s. He literally made the Jackson 5s, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, all the stuff like that. But at the same time,
Jermaine. Don't forget Jermaine.
Don't forget Tito.
Don't forget Tito. Yeah.
Tito's my guy. Yeah. So, like I said, and he sacrificed himself and he did all these things for. But the thing is that some people have painted Joe Jackson kind of a piece of shit. As a person.
Yeah.
Like I said, he abuses kids. He tried to steal from his kids' money when they got rich. He cheated on his wife. He has outside kids on his wife by then. So, Eli, let me ask you this. Like I said, he is a controversial figure. He was no angel. But do you think that everything Joe Jackson did to get his kids to where they are, do you think it was worth it what he did?
No comment because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just gonna say this. I had the Playboy issue with Latoya in it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh wow. Yeah, Latoya was okay, hold up. Now, did you look at the pictures or did you read the article?
There was articles?
That was the excuse everybody gave back in the 80s, so
They had funny cartoons, that's why.
funny cartoons back then. So yeah, that was the thing. And yeah, Joe Jackson was a controversial figure. We've had controversial figures pass away lately where you just can't say, oh man, that's so sad. You're just like, okay, well, that was the thing.
Well, even Michael is controversial in himself.
It depends. It depends on who you ask. I hate to go there, but I'm going to go there. Michael Jackson pretty much boils down to your race or whether or not you were upset or happy that he died. I saw it. It was very, very interesting when Michael Jackson passed. He passed. Every black person I know was extremely sad. Some people were crying. Some people were upset. Not Michael. But then everybody that was not black was like, yes, fuck yeah, I'm glad he's dead. Did we say this on this podcast? Fuck it, we said it now. I'm sorry, Ryan.
That's why I said no comment.
Oh, right. Just throw me under the bus then. Okay. So I can see how you say he was a controversial figure, but he was only seen to be a controversial figure in certain circles. Like I said, and the funny thing is, his funeral was in the Staples Center. The Staples Center, like I said, is the LA Lakers form where LeBron James. Anyway. And I'm looking at this, and even though Michael Jackson touched, every soul and soul, all these records like that, his entire funeral, the people in the funeral were kind of darker shade complexion, if you want to put it there, other than Brooke Shields and John Mayer, Phil Jackson, whoever. So I'm just putting that out there that it's you can say Michael Jackson was a country figure, but only in certain circles. But it wasn't like Prince. Prince was loved by everybody. You never heard anybody say a bad word about Prince.
Yeah, they didn't really have anything on him.
Yeah, so they probably tried to look, because he was just a private person. He didn't, and even when he died, nothing came out. There was some little stuff, but it wasn't anything major. Not this stuff hanging over Michael Jackson. And let's just say he had all these issues. He had mental issues from his father. Like I said, we know he had all the plastic surgery stuff like that, and he cut his nose off. One reason was because Joe Jackson told him, your nose is ugly. You didn't get nose from me, so he cut his nose off to spite his face or whatever the term is. I can't remember. So, yeah, I think we spent too much time on that. Rest in peace, Joe Jackson, I guess, or wherever you are. That being said, can we? Anything else left on that? Nope, we're gonna go for that. Can we talk about move to the next part of the podcast?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the next part of the podcast is the box office numbers. I haven't looked at the box office numbers because nothing in the box office interests me. Even though we haven't seen any shit, it seemed like the rest of the world has seen this stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a.
Yeah, but these movies are making money, big bank. So, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, Eli, give it to me. What do you think was number one, or do you even know was number one?
I would just say Jurassic Park got it.
Jurassic Park got it. Well, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I'm trying to protect you, Eli, before they attack you.
Same shit.
Yeah, basically. Number two, we have Incredibles. I keep wanting to call this shit Infinity. Incredibles 2 was number 2. Number 3 is Sicario: Day of the Soldado.
Oh, is that out?
That is out. Josh Brolin is continuing his destruction of 2018, so this is another movie he has out. Did you ever see the first Sicario?
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
It was on Amazon Prime. I just never got a chance to see it. It may even still be there. I may go around and see it.
It's all right. It was all right. I saw the trailer of this new one. I thought it looked pretty good.
Okay.
But I don't know. I thought that it was all right. It's one of those, as a brown person, I watched it with sort of a grain of salt, and there was some eye rolling parts for me, especially when they go into Juarez and it's the ominous music starts playing, like they're heading to Transylvania. We're going to Mexico. Dun 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 dun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because the guy who wrote that movie, he did Wind River.
Okay. I told you I saw Wind River, right?
Did you?
I did see it. It was on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I meant to tell you about that last year. For some reason, it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Awesome movie. But continue. Yeah.
But he did the same thing in that movie. Like when you were entering the Wind River Indian Reservation, then dun 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 dun. Welcome to hell. So basically, it's like wherever the darkies live. It's spooky and eerie and shit. So yeah, that and Sicario had that same type of that feel. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say. So yeah, what I've been hearing. Oh, wait, hold on. Just gonna keep doing this.
Somebody texting you?
Yeah, somebody's texting me. Hold on. This is getting insane. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to just continue the podcast we're going. Okay, so like I said, what I've been hearing is that apparently Sicario is a completely different movie than the other one. So it's kind of like a tough guy movie, if that makes any sense.
It looks like it's more action, like it has a lot more action.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Like it's more of an action movie now than what it was before. So
yeah, the first one's more of like a thriller, sort of a mystery, crime thriller. I mean, there is some there is some shootouts in there, but it's not. This one looks like it's more focused on the action and stuff like that. Like looks more like like a Lethal Weapon or something.
Yeah.
What I mean?
So I don't know. They saying it's. It it doesn't seem like it's doing too well at the box office right now, but I guess it's doing okay. I mean, you're looking at Jurassic World and Incredibles. Of course, it's gonna not beat those movies, but they're saying I was gonna say Rotten Tomatoes isn't as quite as high as it was before, so I don't know. What else do we have? We also have Uncle Drew is number 4.
Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew. Okay, it is a basketball movie about a basketball player who is real life. Basically, it's like a commercial for.
Is that where like they get into they dress them up like old people or something?
Yeah,
like
it's
the Plumps or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically Kyrie Irving. Oh, damn, it's going crazy. I should have turned it off before we started, but anyway, we're gonna power through it. Yeah. So apparently he's this basketball player, basically it's Kyrie Irving, and he's got a bunch of other basketball players that they're old people also. It's like Shaq and some other folks that I can't recognize, and they're playing basketball. I guess it's a cool movie, whatever like that. So I guess it's doing okay at the box office. It's not supposed to do $1 billion or anything like that. So I guess it's doing okay for modest budget. Number 5, we have Ocean's 8. Number 6, we have Tag. 7, we have Deadpool 2 still hanging in there. Number 8 is Sanju.
I don't know. Never heard of that either.
I don't know. Number 9, we have Solo, a Star Wars story still.
Oh shit!
Kind of hanging in there, but
surprised it's still out. I mean, it'd be on Blu-ray already.
Right. I mean, at this point, it might as well be because number 9 in the box office is kind of hanging out there. Number 10, we have "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" Like I said, the Mr. Rogers movie.
Oh yeah, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. And I'm just looking down here. Oh, we got Avengers: Infinity War as number 12. Oh, that's far down there. Oh, and one thing
that's almost out on Blu-ray. Yeah, coming out soon.
It comes out on Blu-ray, I think, at the end of today. Yeah, at the end of this month. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah.
One thing I'm proud of. Good job, everybody. Superfly for his 3rd week is number 13. So pat yourself on the back for that. Give yourself a round of applause. Oh, yeah, so that's a box. I'm trying to see if there's, honestly, like I said, Jurassic World, I haven't seen it. Incredibles 2, haven't seen it. So if you come here looking for our opinions on these, and the funny thing is, like, people at my job know I have a podcast. I think they're just funny about it. So, like, and they ask me, like, nerd questions all the time, stuff like that. So they ask me stuff like, oh, did you see Incredibles 2? I'm like, no. Like, aren't you supposed to in your job? Like, no. If I want to see shit, I'll see it. If not, I'm not going to be forced to see something I don't care about, So yeah, but that's the box office. Like I said, Infinity War like come out in July. Solo maybe before then. I don't know. You can probably get it for cheap by then. That being said, we can move on.
Oh, speaking of cheap, I finally saw Justice League again because it was on sale on Vudu.
What? How much did you buy it for?
$10.
$10. I bought it for $10 on Amazon, like early January. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For $10, yeah. Like I said, it's super cheap.
$10. Hey, I haven't seen this since the movie theater, and
okay.
Sure.
So what you think? What you think?
It's alright for the second time around. Yeah, I always thought it was just okay already, and then seeing it again, my opinion didn't really change. It's fine. It's short, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, I still don't like what's her face as Lois Lane. I've come to determine that I don't like her as
I'm divided on her. Here's the thing: I'm not really sold on her, but the fact that I've seen worse Lois Lanes, I'm kind of powering through her because the worst one was that one from Superman Returns. What was her name?
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. I just know she was terrible. Yeah. Honestly, she killed the movie for me.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I still haven't seen that whole movie because I fell asleep on that movie and I've never watched it since.
It's a boring movie, man. It's just oh man, I don't know what to say about that.
Like I fell asleep like hard. Like I crashed out during that movie, and then I woke up and the movie was still going. I was like, oh man.
and I think Man of Steel was kind of a reaction to Superman Returns because people were mad that there was no punching in that movie. So they're like, Zack Snyder, like, oh, you want punching? Oh, I'll give you punching.
That's the whole world.
Right. I would destroy everything, So that was Man of Steel. Oh, let me ask you a question. Okay, somebody brought this up a while ago. What do you think was the better movie? Like, let's say somebody had never seen a Superman movie before a day in their life. What do you think they would like better? The original Superman movie or Man of Steel?
Huh. That's a hard. Right now?
Mm-hmm. They've never seen a Superman movie before.
Okay, and how old is this person?
Millennial. Let's just say millennial.
Okay, then it would probably be Man of Steel.
For the Call of Duty crowd, yeah.
Yeah, because someone who grew up on internet cat videos and memes, educated by memes, their attention span ain't can hold to.
I need somebody to punch something,
Yeah,
and that's the funny thing about Superman Returns, because Superman Returns was almost like a Superman, 78 remake. But that's the thing, you can't remake that movie in today's time with today's audience. It doesn't work. You can't have a superhero movie where nobody punches anybody.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Weird thing. That means, can I transition? Because you actually gave me a nice transition, nice segue.
All right.
Okay. Like I said, we're talking about DC. Now, DC have given us now this thing called DC Universe. Now, for those of you who don't know what DC Universe is this subscription service that they have coming out that they've been hinting at, or maybe even just flat out, told us about for a while now. But now they have an official announcement, official trailer for it, and it gives us more insight about what it's going to be. So basically what it's going to be pretty much all of their DC movies and TV shows they had in the past, like Wonder Woman and Swamp Thing and all Superman movies, and all their cartoons they had, like The Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that. They also have an original programming is going to be on there also. I just took
Titans. Is it Titans in production right now?
Oh, not Teen Titans, just Titans. My fault. Titans. Yeah. Young Justice series 3, season 3 is going to be on there. Swamp Thing, Harley Quinn, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing something else. So those are going to be their original programming on there. Now, not only that, Eli, so we got original programming, right? We got movies, we got cartoons, we got TV shows. They also have comics.
Yeah.
Digital comics. So they're finally. Yeah. Marvel Unlimited has been doing this for a while now. It doesn't make any sense why they're waiting so long to get into the game, but they're finally here. And that, honestly, Eli, that would interest me more than anything else. Like, the TV show's cool, that's all cool, stuff like that. But you getting comics on there? Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're the comic book bullies. I like comics, believe it or not, even though we never talk about the shit here, And so the fact that I saw like an old Flash comic in there, so they're gonna have some stuff from the '60s. Okay, I want to read some of those to see what they like. I saw the most recent book I saw that they just quickly flashed was from Wonder Woman Rebirth #1, the one where she kind of tied her lasso to herself to reveal herself the truth because she might have been lying to herself. Cool story. So that's gonna be on there. So at least we're gonna have some stuff at least up till 2016. We don't know how much they're gonna recycle or refresh their site, because Marvel Unlimited pretty much works like clockwork. Every book from like the last 6 months, any book from like the last 6 months goes up. So if 6 months before, it goes up and then it's there. So, but the one thing they didn't tell us, Eli, they didn't tell us the price.
Yeah, I noticed that.
How much is this bad boy gonna cost? We don't know.
Yeah. Oh, just to piggyback on what you're saying, I saw those 100-page comics at Walmart.
Oh yeah, I meant to talk about that. I saw that. Okay, so can you give me some more insight about that? Because I saw something about it, but I really was halfway paying attention. I just saw people just bitching and moaning about it, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Well, it's a way to sell, I guess, comics. Walmart is going to sell like these sort of like an anthology, a greatest hits of. It was DC. The one I saw was DC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard DC. I heard it's going to be like Bendis stories or something, and then I think the Batman story is going to be Tom King.
Okay, yeah, the one that I saw there, it had like the New 52 Justice League. I think the first issue of Origin or whatever.
Wait. Let's back this up. Now, are you saying you saw a post about this, or you actually saw the book?
I saw the comic.
Fuck. Okay.
I was at Walmart and I saw the comic.
Okay.
There was only one left.
Okay. Rewind it. Okay. Let's back this up. Okay. Now you have at first you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Okay, so you're telling me that you saw a 100-page book with DC stuff in it, and it was basically like old stuff, like well, not old stuff, but I guess 5 years old, like Justice League,
Yeah,
like the Jeff
the
Johns run.
the button was in there.
Oh,
Was in the
really?
book.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the button. There's a Superman. Yeah, I just kind of flipped through it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this about?" I just, and I was, "Oh, this is what it is." It's old shit. So, but like older,
Oh,
recent.
it's old for us.
Yeah, yeah,
But like I said, if you
yeah.
don't know this stuff, you pick it up, you're like, oh, that's cool. So Eli, let me ask you this then: why are people so pissed?
Who knows?
I don't know. I just saw people just pissed. I
Comic
saw
book fans, man.
I don't. It's the angry emoji stuff like that. So I wouldn't really because honestly, it didn't interest me at all what they were saying. I kind of guessed it was gonna be old, but I thought it was gonna be honestly. I thought what it was gonna be was like all the stuff that like Bendis and Tom King did for like their last month or the last 4 issues they did in their books. They were just gonna just re-release them. But you're telling me they're going even further back than that. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
I mean, from what I understand, there's a few of them that they're putting out. Yeah, there's a Batman, there's a Wonder Woman, there's JLA. The only one I saw was just, I believe it was a Justice League book, and it featured a Superman issue in there. There was the button was in there, and that Justice League story was in there. So they're 100-page for $10. I mean, I guess it's just a way to get people in the comics or something.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a good thing. And honestly, I think what they should have been doing a long time ago is like with these Blu-ray movies when they have these big tentpole comic book movies, they should maybe have like a digital code in this, like that, like with Captain America: Civil War, have a digital code for Civil War in there, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's twice a month. They're going to release these twice a month.
Okay,
so
that's pretty
maybe
good.
you can follow. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I only saw one. The rack was empty except for one book.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing. That's how I got into comic books. Yes, Walmart used to sell them, but the grocery store I used to go to used to sell them. Yeah. So when my mom was going there getting groceries for the week, she was like, okay, here's a few dollars. Go get you a comic book. And I would just go to the book section, the magazine section. Some comics were there, and I look, okay, Amazing Spider-Man's there. Incredible Hulk's there, X-Men here, and I usually just grab them. Some of them I just read them right there, if I was too broke. But that's actually what got me into comics, because every city doesn't have, a local comic book store, but every place got a Walmart.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't understand if the comic industry is suffering right now, the comic industry is struggling to find new readers and to gravitate to new audiences. Why wouldn't you do everything you need to do to expand your market? Just putting in a local comic book store is not expanding your market.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I'm sure, it was right by all the, the Magic the Gathering cards, the Pokemon cards.
Right.
That's where it was, So,
yeah, they just put them all in the same area, stuff like that. So I don't get it. I don't understand why people were upset about that. Like I said, I was halfway paying attention. Honestly, I don't know why they ever stopped doing that. Because I feel like the moment they stopped doing that is the moment that the comic industry, went to shit, financially wise.
Yeah. Because didn't Barnes and Noble stop doing it or something? I heard something like that, or maybe I did.
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, good for Walmart. They need to do it in more stores. Also, Target need to do it. Whoever. I mean, I don't think it's gonna hurt local comic book stores because local comic book stores have a specific audience. People just don't go in there just to browse stuff like that. But Walmart has everybody. There is no specific audience for Walmart. Everybody's at Walmart. Somebody just walk by, see that book like you just said, pick it up. Or somebody that's never read a comic book before, pick that up and become a comic book fan. Then they'll see, okay, how far does the rabbit hole go? And then they'll go to a local comic book store.
Yeah, that's how it starts,
I don't understand. We need to stop being gatekeepers. Not me and you, Eli, but just whoever listening to this that was pissed off about stuff like that. We need to stop being gatekeepers.
Yeah, because when I first started reading comics, I didn't even know about comic book stores. Like I said, I went to the spin racks in like convenience stores and shit. Mm-hmm. They had spin racks, and that's, I had some change on me, I'd buy a comic.
They were $1.75, $1.25.
Yeah, I remember just raiding my piggy bank for just change and just buying a comic.
Right.
And that's how I got into them. And years later, when I discovered comic book stores and you can get back issues, that was like, holy shit, this is brilliant,
Exactly. But you got to have that gateway drug first, just to get you into. And that's the thing. I think we do too much stuff to scare away people from comics. It's like we almost doing everything in our power to scare away new people from getting comics.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know this. You need to pick up a comic. You don't only know the movies. You only know the TV show. Like, saying stupid shit like that is why people don't bother with the stuff to begin with.
That run sucks. You should have picked up Grant Morrison's blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, that's what you want to do. Get a new comic book fan reading some Grant Morrison weird shit like that.
Exactly. Cable is his own grandfather. Some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is so good thing for Walmart. I'm glad you brought that up, Eli, because I was gonna put that on the notes. But I don't have any notes. So
yeah, I just thought of it. Yeah, I was at Walmart yesterday. I was like, hey, look at that, comic books at Walmart. I was like, I got like some of these. All right.
Okay. See, you're gonna make me go into Walmart, but I personally made it my mission to never step foot into Walmart. I hate Walmart. Just as a concept, but they got comics in there. It's kind of like that meme of it. Where the clown is in the sewer.
Oh yeah.
I have free comics down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I feel like. Okay. That being said, we can move on past that. Okay, now we got a chance to check out some, because like I said, we just talked about the DC, and it seemed like DC is trying to build up a Netflix killer. But until then, and it's not just Netflix. Oh, before we move on to that, we got some other stuff to talk about also. Like I said, we got DC from the Netflix killer. But now DC, Disney. I keep fucking these names up, sorry. Disney they have not finalized the deal with Fox yet, but it's getting closer and closer and closer. They basically made a bid where it's 70-some billion, whatever. I don't know. Google it. It's up there. So, but they pushed the date back to, they're going to basically vote on it on the July the 26th. And they're going to vote on July 26th to see if it's ready. The government has already said it's okay. You're not violating any laws on it. So, fuck it. Buy everything, Disney. We don't care.
Just own the world.
Right. Government is worried about some other shit. So, that being...
Start colonizing Mars, too.
Right. Just the Mickey Mouse flag right there playing it. Yeah. And so, we have all this stuff going on. And here's the thing. I like people thinking that, we're going to get Fantastic Four. We're going to get X-Men. Disney is thinking a lot bigger than that. They're thinking a lot bigger than
I'm X-Men. Sure they are.
They're not. They spent $4 billion on Marvel by itself. They are not spending $70 billion on Fox to get fucking Wolverine. No. Think bigger than this, people. They're just like DC has put their foot in the game to try to kill Netflix. So is Disney. Disney trying to kill Netflix also. We just talked about the box office, how the box office is struggling right now. You know who's not struggling? Netflix. Netflix is killing it right now. They do like $6 billion a year right now. And I'm pretty sure movies do more than that, or Disney does more than that. But it's insane amount of money they're doing. So everybody is trying to get a piece of the pie of the streaming business, because that's where everything is going. You can fight it. You can, say it's not happening, but it is coming. And it's going to drag you kicking and screaming into the future. So DC has already put their bid in the hat, bid in the ring, and Disney is gonna do the same thing. So if they got all this Marvel stuff and all the Disney stuff and all their backlog stuff, and they get Fox, then they're gonna make their own streaming service also. That's also gonna compete with Netflix, and that's where things are gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
So, but woohoo, we got X-Men. Whatever.
Yeah. X-Files, and Ripley from Aliens will team up now.
Exactly. Yeah, those Predator comic books you like to read, Eli. Yeah, fuck that. They're done by Disney now.
Yeah, man. We're gonna have the Frozen chick versus the Predator.
It's coming. Until Disney buys their next product, unless they buy DC also. No, just all of Warner Brothers. No, think about them. Comcast. They're gonna buy Comcast. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Let me say, now we can talk about Netflix. Like I said, we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because, Eli, you didn't get a chance to see the whole thing, but now you got a chance to see the whole thing. And you actually did a review on Geek Sav, our sister podcast. It's the only one I can remember off the top of my head out of all the 80 other podcasts we have on Outright Geekery. But that being said, the one we're going to talk about is Luke Cage, Season 2. And Eli, like I said, you got a chance to see some. Now that you watched the whole thing, what do you think about it? Because like I said, I'm hearing all kind of reactions just on the internet. People haven't really just narrowed down how they feel about Luke Cage as a hive mind. How we like to do.
Well, I loved it. I holy shit. I thought it was way better than the first season. And I was ready for more. Like after the 13th episode, I was like, damn, that's it? I wanted more because I was really into it. I was really into the story. I think they really got the 13 episode structure down with this season. Like the first time I felt there was no lull in
there was
that.
no
You know
filler. Everything
Yeah.
they were giving you felt like vital information, or even just little stuff. It felt like it was fleshing out this season, or it was setting up something else for later on. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it was a much better season than season one. I think it is one of the top Netflix Marvel movies they have right now. And I do feel like the 13 episodes it was complete. It didn't feel like filler. Nothing felt like filler in there.
Yeah. And like, I think it might be, one of my favorite Netflix Marvel seasons.
It's up there for me.
Yeah. I mean, I even Daredevil, which was awesome. Both seasons of Daredevil felt like they dragged on a little bit. But this one, I mean, story-wise, I felt like they really had enough story to make it cohesive to stretch out that long. And I was waiting for more at the end.
And then there were just so many like bombshells they were dropping, just like story plot wise and stuff. You're like, oh, that's why they did that. Oh, that's why they did that. And it was just like, well, like I said, we're gonna spoil some stuff for folks that haven't seen it. We're just gonna let you know we're spoiling some stuff. Like for instance, Shades and Comanche.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, to go there, especially in a Marvel show and a Netflix show that they were basically lovers in prison, So I was like, whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting that. But and somebody online said, oh yeah, they called it in season one. I'm like, you didn't call that in season one. But just the way they handled it, like if you weren't paying attention, it would just fly right over your head,
That ain't gay. That's just jail.
Right. I'm trying to think, what was that movie that did that? Harold and Kumar when they was in Guantanamo Bay.
Oh shit!
I'm not gay. You're sucking my dick, so you're gay.
Yeah.
Oh, where were we? Oh yeah, another bombshell they dropped. Yeah, another bombshell they dropped when Black Mariah revealed who Tilda's real dad was.
Yes. That was so fucked up.
It really was. And they threw a red herring in at first because it made you think it was going to be that cop. Oh, the cop is going to be. And then the cop died. And you're just like, okay, well, is he going to find out? But then when you find out who it really was, and it was all set up from the last season where, they said, that she was molested by her uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the baby. And that's why they didn't raise her. But then the stuff that she said to her, you're like, that's why I never loved you. Like every time I look in your eyes, I see him. I just see hatred. I was like,
yeah, that established Black Mariah as one of the most wickedest villains, like in the MCU right now.
Yeah, it was like
not only was that a fucked up, thing to drop on her, but how she reacted to it and how she treated her, like. That's why I don't love you, and just walked. So she just emotionally destroyed her child and just walked away.
Right.
And I was like, that was the point where at that point I was like, okay, that fucking bitch needs to die. And that was before the fucking massacre in the cafe.
Right.
So yeah, that was brutal.
I was like, that really messed me up right there. And then you can see, like, when she said it basically set Tilda on to her path as being a supervillain. But for those that don't know, Tilda is actually a comic book villain. Her name is Nightshade in the comics. She's like a chemist. She basically uses chemical warfare. She fights all the black heroes: Luke Cage, Falcon, Black Panther.
She's actually a werewolf at one point.
Yeah, she was like Queen of the Werewolves or something or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was in I read that Occupy Avengers run last year with Hawkeye and Red Wolf teaming up, and they teamed up with Nightshade. And she had the hots for Red Wolf. She was always trying to fuck Red Wolf.
Oh, okay. Didn't see that coming, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, she may, if they have a season 3, she's probably gonna be like the big bad of season 3. They seem to be setting her up.
Yeah.
And like I said, Bushmaster was awesome in there, and that's the thing. I think that they kind of fixed what was wrong with season 1, because a lot of times people say season 1, like, the fight scenes were boring, and they were boring. Like, sometimes when the fight scenes even started, I kind of checked out, start looking at my phone and start, looking at other stuff. But in this one, they had it because Bushmaster was doing like capoeira, whatever you call it, martial art.
Capoeira, yeah.
Yeah, it was exciting for him to do it, especially when you giving Luke Cage a physical match. Like, all 3 fight scenes they had were interesting fight scenes.
Yeah. So and that was like, that first fight that they had where Bushmaster whoops Luke Cage's ass. That reminded me of Hulk and Thanos.
Right.
Where Luke Cage has just been relying on his strength to get by all this time. And here comes a guy with just as powerful as he is, but who can actually fight.
Right. Because it's funny, because up until those 4 episodes, like, Luke got so cocky that he didn't think anybody could touch him. So it was nice to watch somebody take him down a peg.
Yeah. And that was a cool arc for him. I like that he was dealing with his anger and dealing with, the issues with his parents and his dad and all that stuff,
Right.
And that he was it was kind of like Rocky 3, where he was kind of full of himself and sort of relishing in all his fame and fortune and kind of arrogant,
Yep. And just waiting and basically he got Clipper Lang. So.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, and one more thing I want to talk about also, like I said, huge spoiler for those who hadn't seen it. Let's talk about Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. I actually think that this is the best live action adaptation they've had of Iron Fist yet. Yeah. Much better improvement than what they've had before.
I know. And that's like sad that this show made Iron Fist cool more than his own show did.
Right. Or Defenders. He sucked the Defenders also. So I'm like, okay, he's cool now. I can deal with this, Even the fight scenes in the crack house or wherever they were pretty cool also. Oh, they did a fastball special. I didn't even know if they could do a fastball special legally. I thought X-Men had a trademark on that shit, So I thought that was pretty cool. And it was it was cool. They had like good chemistry with each other. Like, you could imagine those two being best friends and stuff. He was giving Luke advice and helping him out, stuff like that. I was like, damn, this was the part I was scared to see, because I just thought he was gonna just tank the entire season. But he came in. It was like one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, and then when they did the fight scene to the Wu-Tang song,
right,
which is like probably my favorite Wu-Tang song ever. That was the song that got me into Wu-Tang. Was it the Seventh Chamber remix?
Right, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, they got the hardest beat ever. I remember my brother and nephew just playing that shit in their room, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is Wu-Tang." I mean, no shit.
So something else that caught my attention with Iron Fist also. Remember when they shook down Turk, in the weed house, whatever? And notice how Danny picked up a bong and was like, "Can I keep this?"
I don't remember that.
Remember with Turk when they interrogated Turk?
Oh yeah. When that's right, the bong. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Iron Fist. No, yeah.
No, not in Iron Fist. Fuck Iron Fist, not the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So when they shook down Turk and then Iron Fist picked the bomb, he was like, "Can I keep this?" Were they hinting at that Iron Fist may like to partake?
Maybe, or is he into hookah or something? I don't know.
I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, did they sneak that in there? So maybe that's how he's seeing the ancestors or whatever he's doing. So yeah, all that was pretty cool. The ending was really cool also, because and the funny thing about it, the whole thing was a part of Mariah's plan.
Yeah.
Like, the very first episode, the whole thing was about she wanted to sell, Harlem's Paradise to somebody else, but everybody that she came to, she didn't trust them. She didn't trust them and didn't think they were worthy enough, or they didn't love Harlem enough. Like, they were too shady to do it. And she didn't want to sell it to a family member either, because she knew it would destroy them. That's why she didn't give it to Till at the end. But she was like, Luke Cage, on the other hand, he loves Harlem, and he's dumb enough to think that he can use the club to maybe change Harlem, but it's going to destroy him just like it did everybody else before him. Like it destroyed her, like it destroyed Cottonmouth, like it destroyed her grandmother or aunt or whatever that was. So it's going to do Luke the same way. But the thing is, Luke is so, and I'm not even arrogant. He's so naive. He thinking that he can break the cycle.
Yeah. But that was a nice moment between him and was his name DW, that kid that was following him around, filming him and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a cool moment where he's like, "Yo, man, you're a crime boss now. What do you call him, Luke Corleone?"
Right, Luke Corleone. He called him Luke Trump. He's like, I'm trying to make Harlem great again.
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, "Wow, that was a nice twist because that's probably going to put him at odds. I mean, moving forward, that's probably going to put him at odds with the other heroes." You know,
Exactly, because what the showrunner said was basically that was the ending of like remember the comic book run Daredevil and Shadowland.
okay.
He was basically saying that was the ending he was doing for Luke Cage, where Luke Cage basically becomes a crime boss. He basically becomes the head crime boss of Harlem, But it makes you think, like, okay, you can say he's a crime boss, but maybe that's what needs to be done. Because he said at the beginning of the season that he was a fireman. Every time he does something, like he can't stop the drug wars, because every time he shuts down one crack house, another one pops up down the street. There's nothing he can do. He can't control it. He can't stop the guns. He can't stop anything because he's too reactionary. But if he gets in front of the situation and controls it from the top level like he does at the end, like a crime boss, he can't stop crime, but at least he has a better chance of controlling it than he did before. So he's being more effective in what he's doing than what he did before, than just running around just stopping this building and blowing up that building and stopping these guys. He's being more effective. So, but it's like you said, that may very well end up corrupting him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, at least that's what Mariah's hoping. Yeah,
that's what Mariah's hoping. And another thing is, the showrunner said the reason he did that ending because he wants to guarantee that Netflix picks him up for season 3. Leave it on the cliffhanger, Oh, and I know you're gonna catch the reference also. The way the last scene of that season was the last scene of Godfather.
Yeah. So, pretty much, yeah. The door closing and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
The door closing. The one of the henchmen was whispering in his ear by closing the door on.
Yep.
So awesome season, man. Awesome season. If for those who haven't seen it, awesome season. For those that are saying the season sucked, what the hell were you watching? Seriously.
I think what I think people are bitching about, I think they want more action. They're coming out of Defenders where they saw them fighting all these ninjas and shit, and that ain't this show. This show is more of a crime drama like The Wire or Miami Vice or something like that. It's more about procedurals and investigation and character, And I like the fact because once I accepted that, then going into this season, I was able to devour it better. That I'm not. This isn't going to have a bunch of stupid. It's not cheesy. They're not going for black exploitation like the comics. This isn't Black Dynamite that they're doing, because that's essentially what the comics are.
Right.
The comic book version of Luke Cage was Dolomite.
Right. The Shaft. It was the whole reason they tried to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't doing that. They were going for a more serious, real world take on Luke Cage. And once I saw that, I was on board, and I like that. I think they found that cool balance of the crime drama mixed in with the superhero tropes.
They did it much better this season than last season, because last season when they tried to do it, the show went completely off the rails.
Yeah, because you have Cottonmouth, the serious villain, and then you have a cheesy comic book, villain at the end with the Diamondback. He's in this cheesy outfit, and yeah.
And here's the thing: I'm going to say something controversial. I actually like Black Mariah this season better than I like Cottonmouth last season.
Yeah, she was one of those villains that you love to hate.
Like, you really hated her, and plus she was actually effective as a villain. Cottonmouth really didn't do anything. He just kind of bitched and moaned and beat up people, but he didn't really do anything effective. Where Black Mariah was actually effective, and if you think about it, she kind of won. So she kind of beat him,
That prison scene, oh shit! Prison scene, that's like on par with that Punisher prison scene in the Daredevil.
Right.
That was,
except she didn't just mow through people, But yeah, it was shocking.
Yeah,
stuff that was happening.
I was like, holy! Just the women on the show were badass. Everyone wants to talk about how Wonder Woman was a great portrayal of strong female characters. No, this show, the women on this show were fucking just badass as shit. So, Misty Knight, Misty Knight
was awesome. Claire was awesome in there, even though, but I just like the dialogue she was having, because actually she was bringing up some good points also. Like, she was almost saying the same thing that Luke was saying at the end. Like, yes, you're doing good, you're doing everything you can, but you're not doing enough. You can do more. And he didn't want to hear that at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and plus, like the tone of the show, you can tell that this was an inherently a show made by people of color, and you could totally tell that perspective. That was an inherently a perspective that comes from minorities. That especially when they're going to how the Jamaicans hated the American black people,
right?
Or there's that inner racism within races.
Right, and it was also vice versa. Like the African Americans didn't like the Jamaicans. They were blaming, they were rounding up every Jamaican, whether or not they had anything to do with Bushmaster or not.
Yeah, and then Claire Temple even said some stuff about Puerto Ricans and Latinos,
and I was like, whoa. I mean, honestly, that didn't even cross my mind when she said that.
Yeah, and I was like, as a Native American, I can relate. I can relate to all that. I mean, I'm not full blooded. I'm not a full blood Native. I'm half breed, and I've been reminded by other natives of that fact my whole life.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that didn't even cross my mind. The stuff she was going like, I didn't you deal with racism. I didn't have to leave my house to deal with racism.
Yeah, no shit. And it's like that perspective would not have come through had the makers of this show not been diverse. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that it was made by black people and people or women. There was a lot of women directors on the show. Lucy Liu directed a few
the first
episodes.
Episode, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's you don't get that perspective, in pop culture, and that's where diversity is important. We're starting to see these other, these other voices coming out and dealing with issues that we can relate to and stuff.
So now, Eli,
that's what I love.
Now let me ask you this. Like I said, we're hearing mixed reactions on Luke Cage season 2. And matter of fact, we're not even hearing as much reaction as we did on season 2. It's like we did with season 1. Like season 1, remember they said it broke the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about it, but not as many people are talking about this season as much. So let me ask you this: do you think, because like I said, we just talked about like the political aspect of it and the topical issues they're addressing. Do you think maybe people are staying away because of those issues?
I don't know, or maybe just people might be staying away because maybe the Netflix shows aren't pulling in what they used to. I don't know.
That could be it too. I don't know. Like I said, we don't have numbers, so we don't know. But you can just kind of just get a sense of how big these shows are.
Yeah, because I think when they expect, what they expect out of Marvel is fights, and the MCU's full of this grand spectacle, Infinity War. It's this huge, epic, movie. And then you go to these Netflix shows, and they're more subdued and more low key, and they got lower budgets, but they're not like the CW shows where it's there's fights every episode, or even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
I think they're expecting more, and when it's more when they see these shows sort of just deal more, they're more character driven. I think it's kind of turning people off. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird because, like I said, we just name like the CW and we name Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this shit like that. Like they're twice as many shows, in a season than it is with Netflix. But at the same time, we're saying, oh, there's too many shows. 13 is too many. No.
Yeah, and I think, but this is the first time I feel, like I said, like they actually got down that 13 episode structure.
Like they could have did more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm bummed out that this was on Netflix and not like on TV where I had to wait a week, because I could really use the summer fix.
Yeah, because it's like what we like to say. There's no movies we want to see. No sports programs out right now. I don't give a shit about soccer. Sorry if you do. Good for you. But there's like nothing on TV, so I need something to fill that gap.
Yeah, I mean, and this would have been a great summer show to like take that week where you dwell on things for the week. And then something to look forward to.
And you really can't just sit down and just, okay, I'm gonna watch this show this week and watch this episode next week. You can't do that because the way the internet works, if you take that long, by then Luke Cage would have been completely spoiled for you.
Yeah.
You can't wait around and just watch this stuff and take your time.
Yeah, I mean, I waited a week to do my review on Geek Savs, and I was like, shit, this might be too late by now. It's only been a week.
It is, so yeah. That being said, like I said, good season. Can we move on past that?
Sure.
Okay. Like I said, I guess we can jump into the part that pays the bills. We can jump right into the comic book section. Like I said, we got a few books we want to knock out, and I guess I'll go first. Like I said, we'll go first with the book I got, and we'll start with Man of Steel #5. I think this is the second to the last issue they're gonna do with Brian Michael Bendis. You know, with this series at least before he goes to his main one. And basically how the book starts off is that Superman is reminiscing on the city of Kandor, and the city of Kandor was destroyed. He's trying to remember. I wonder what the last thing they saw was like. And he looks inside the city of Kandor, and all they look up and they just see like this huge eyeball, because the eyeball is from Rogul Zar, because it's the last thing they see right before he destroyed them. So we go to present day, and Superman is taking him out into space, and they're just fighting stuff like that. Rogul Zar finally regains himself and punches Superman into the moon. Punches him in the moon, and he just keeps punching him, and then right before he takes his axe up and get ready to I don't know, slice him or finish him off, stuff like that, Superman has a flashback into his apartment like a couple weeks ago or months ago, stuff like that, when he was talking to, when he was with Lois, he was with, little Jonathan, and he was with his dad, Jor-El. Jor-El came back, he said, yeah, I've come to get the boy. You're my grandson, I need to take him with me. And Clark is like, no, hell no, you're not taking him with you anywhere. I barely know you. You're not going anywhere with him. Lois like the same thing. And then Jor-El tells him, look, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him. Now look, if you come with me, there are certain things I can show you, like the galaxies and how the universe works. There's certain things that your parents can't teach you, that Earth can't teach you, that not even your dad can teach you, because he views the world from a certain perspective that he can't show you how the universe really works. But if you come with me, I can. And then Clark is like, stop talking to him. You talk to me. I'm telling you, he's not going. And then Jonathan looks back at both of them and he says, I'm going with him. And then it just cuts off of that. So we cut back to the moon, and Superman and Rogul Zar just leaves him, and Superman is just knocked the fuck out, just beat up. We cut back to Metropolis, and we still got more of those arsons and the buildings on fire, stuff like that. And Chief Moore is trying to put him out, and then Supergirl shows up, and she's like, I'm here to help. Have you seen Cal? You're like, no, I haven't seen him. I don't know where he went. It was some kind of little fight that was going on, but I haven't seen him since then. And and then they hear a voice that saying, we're looking for him too. And they turn around, and it's the Justice League. They show up, and they're asking questions like, okay, where's Superman? Where's this other guy he was fighting? Why are they trying to kill him? And Flash just throws in a little jab like, oh, while y'all talking, I just put out the fire. Just want you to know that, And so Supergirl asks them, have any of you seen Superman? They're like, no, we haven't seen him. And then she looks at the moon. She's like, uh-oh, Cal. So she shoots off to the moon. She's like, if anybody can follow me right now. So she shoots off to the moon, grabs Superman. He's like all shriveled up and shit like that, because I guess he got fucked up. And she takes him back to the Hall of Justice. Because the Hall of Justice is a thing now, So Superman is in there waking up, and he grabs his tray, like he's in the hospital bed or whatever like that. He grabs his tray. He like, everybody, I want you to take a look at this. So he takes the tray and heat visions a symbol into the tray. He like, does anybody recognize this? So Green Lantern says, nope. And then Cyborg says, nope. And Batman says, nope. So this is the symbol that guy had. We got to figure out what's going on. And then Batman tells him, well, if this guy was trying to cleanse Krypton and he destroyed your planet just to cleanse Krypton, well, obviously that means, and then his eyes get big, and Superman's eyes get big, and Batman like, exactly. And Flash like, wait, what happened? And then Superman just shoots off and puts his suits on so fast and just bursts through the roof of the Hall of Justice. And then he was like, I gotta stop. Whatever's going on, I gotta stop it. So he burrows to the center of the earth, and he says, I told Starlass wouldn't do this anymore, but they're just gonna have to build me for this. And he was like, because if Batman is right, this might be really messed up. So he bursts to the center of the earth, and he sees that symbol sign that he draw, like in the center of the earth, with Rogul Zar standing right there. And he like, that's exactly what Batman thought was going to happen. He's going to destroy Earth. And that's how the book ends. So, yeah. Pretty cool story. A lot of stuff going on. I really don't understand why Rogul Zar didn't kill Superman at the time. So, but still a cool story. Justice League shows up. The book is going. We find out that what happened to Jonathan and Lois and stuff like that. So yeah, I get a book of 4.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess I'll start with I'll do Pumpkinhead. So I got Pumpkinhead #5 from Dynamite Comics. Now, Pumpkinhead, for those who don't know, it's a late '80s horror flick. Stan Winston directed. Lance Hendrickson. Basically, it's a demon monster that you conjure up to get revenge. It's a demon of vengeance. And someone if someone wrongs you, you can go into these backwoods in the South and find this witch named Haggis, and she will conjure up this demon to go and kill all those who have wronged you. Catch is, you feel every death that Pumpkinhead kills, and and anything that happens to Pumpkinhead, you feel, and that's the price. So when Pumpkinhead dies, you die. So that's the price for vengeance. So in this story, what has happened? It takes place in the South. There's some like redneck, like crime family, drug dealers. A couple of the members do a hit and run. They kill some kids in their car accidentally, but they take off. And their grandfather, in mourning, goes into the woods and finds Haggis to conjure up Pumpkinhead. And Pumpkinhead has been going around killing this backwoods crime family. But they find out that, this is Pumpkinhead and it's a demon after us. So what they do is they go find this coven of witches, which I believe are Haggis' sisters. And they basically have these other witches conjure up demons to fight Pumpkinhead off. And that's where this is the finale. Last issue, all these other demons showed up, and it's a big demon battle between Pumpkinhead and these other monsters. And we pick up, the demons are fighting. The grandfather who conjured up Pumpkinheads, he's feeling every hit and blow from that Pumpkinhead takes from these other demons. So he's in pain, and the sheriff is with them. It's like, we gotta stop this. They also have Haggis with them too. It's like, we gotta stop this. So what they do is they go and find the coven of witches, and they're like, hey, you gotta stop this demon and blah 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 blah. And they're like, nope, can't be done. This spell has to run its course. But then Haggis, the witch, comes in and kills all the other witches. So when those witches die, the demons that they conjured die with them. So then the Pumpkinhead is free to go and continue his vengeance. And the sheriff's like, we can't let this demon, kill anybody else. And Haggis is like, the witch is like, no, there's nothing you can do. This has to run its course, and she's got the gun to the head of the witch. She's like, nothing's going to stop vengeance, And so the Pumpkinhead finally kills the last of the redneck crime family, and then the grandfather feels that pain and then dies. And and the sheriff is like, hey, I can't let you do this anymore. You can't be summoning demons like this. And she's like, hey, no, there's no way you can stop this. Vengeance and sorrow, you can't stop that. If you keep me from doing it, it's just going to pop up somewhere else. It's like, at least with me, I can keep a leash on it, So she ends up letting the witch go, and that's pretty much it. That's how it ends. So, like I said, I'm a fan of the movie. I really like the story. It really blows the universe wider open. It goes into the characters of Haggis and the Coven of Witches and stuff, and brought in this big epic monster battle, which I enjoyed. So I was really into the story. I still think the art was a little too bright and cartoony. I wish it was a little bit more stylized, but other than that, I enjoyed this run. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay. A pretty cool story. Next one I got is Flash number 49. This is part 3 of Flash War.
Okay.
And so, like I said, last time we left off, Barry and Wally, took off running and stuff like that. So this book opens up with Argus, Team Argus in Smallville. And basically the head of Argus, Amanda Waller and Steve Trevor, and they're in Smallville, and Steve Trevor has a device in his hand. He's saying, okay, I'm picking up Speed Force ratings all over the planet, which means these two guys, I'm picking up 2 signatures of the Speed Force, and that means whatever they're doing, they're running so fast, they're running all over the world that nobody can see them. And wherever they're going, I'm tracking them right now. They're eventually going to end in Smallville in about 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and they set up an entire army, to stop the Flash from running. Because they're saying whatever they're doing is like screwing up the world because they're generating too much Speed Force. So they get ready, wait for it, and then both Flashes just run right through the army. They run through so fast they didn't even see them coming. And then while they did that, they even took apart the army and the tanks and stuff like that. So they did it so fast they didn't even see them. So Waller's like, okay, that plan didn't work. All right, Trevor, you either get your friends to stop them, or I'm going to get my friends to stop them. And you don't want my friends to do that because you know what my friends can do. And then as soon as he even says that, then the Justice League shows up. Like, Justice League just show up in every book. They don't care.
They just show up a lot.
They show up a lot. They just pop up, like you called Steve Trevor, So not only they show up, the Teen Titans show up also because, they're with Wally and stuff like that. So, like, what do we need to do? Like whatever's going on, they're running so fast that their Speed Force they're giving off is going to destroy the multiverse. Like everything. Everything's gonna go because they're doing it. So why are they doing it? We don't understand. But then they got some kind of footage, they were able to slow it down a trillionth of a second, and they were seeing that they were arguing. Like they're arguing. They're like, okay, Superman's like, okay, everybody stand back. I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna put a stop to this right now. So he gets into, his 3-point stance position, and boom, he takes off. Everybody's like, okay. And just stand there for like about 5 seconds or like that. 5 seconds later, Superman comes right back. Boom. And he's like breathing heavily. You're like, okay, Superman, did you stop him? You're like, I couldn't even catch him. I'm like, well, fuck, what are you then? So we cut back to Barry and Wally, and they're just running all over the world and stuff like that, fighting each other, and Barry's trying to, they're still arguing back and forth, like, you need to stop this because you're gonna destroy the world. You're gonna do exactly what I did with Flashpoint. You're gonna erase the world and really fuck up the timeline, stuff like that. Wally's like, I don't care, stuff like that. So then after a while they just stop arguing. They're like, okay, Barry. Wally's like, okay, Barry, are you gonna help me or not? And Barry's like, okay, look, I will help you get through the Speed Force to get your kids. I'm tired of fighting you. I'm tired of running because whatever we're doing, we are destroying the multiverse with this. Even though doing this, we may lose the Speed Force. So like, okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna run into the Speed Force so fast, but we're not gonna lose ourselves because we're gonna be each other's anchors. So they run through the Speed Force so fast, and they pop out the other end. And then they're just like, okay, what happened? But when they look up, the Justice League is surrounding them, and Wonder Woman screaming at them, Barry, what did you do? Like, what do you mean what I did? Then they point to the sky, and they're like, oh, shoot, we screwed up. They look at the sky's all screwy and stuff like that. They were like, oh, man, dude. But we didn't break the Speed Force because I still feel the Speed Force inside of them. And then while they're talking, every single one of the Justice League members plus Argus members get knocked out. Bam, 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 bam. And they were like, uh-oh, we know who did that. They're like, that's right. I wanted you to go into the Speed Force Flashes because I didn't want you to destroy the Speed Force. I wanted you to destroy the Force barrier. And then turn around and it's Zoom. Zoom was the one that knocked everybody out because they realized it. And then they basically said, so when you broke down the Force barrier, see, the thing is, you think the Speed Force is the only force out there. It's not even. That's only a fraction of it. There's actually way more powers out there. You just unlocked all of them. For instance, like the Sage Force, and then he like telekinetically lift them in the air, and like the Strength Force, and he like smacked them across the city and shit like that. So Zoom has like all kind of crazy ass powers now, like past speed powers. He got all kind of crazy shit. And then he said, and then he goes to Barry, and he was like, Barry, remember you used to fought Eobard Thawne, and you know how he idolized you? He actually kept your first suit, and he pulls up the the Flash ring. He like, your suit is in this ring right here, and then he undoes the ring, and he turns into like the classic Silver Age Flash, like the one from like in the 50s and shit like that. He was like, I'm the most powerful Flash in the world, and so he's got like strength powers, telekinetic powers, speed powers. And he's like, and I'm gonna be the hero of the story, and the first thing I'm gonna do is kill every Flash that exists, and that's how the book ends. So,
all right.
Yeah, pretty cool story. Superman realized he's a bitch. He can't keep up with Flash. Either one of them. Wally actually might be a little bit faster than Flash, and Zoom has all kind of Hulk powers and shit with speed. So pretty cool. I get 4.5 out of 5. This is pretty cool, even though Just League showed up again. But it was like a really, really cool story what they did. So yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I guess I'll do my last book. I got is Aliens: Dust to Dust, #2, and this is just great. This is awesome. awesome. So basically what happened, we're picking up where issue 1 left off. There's some planet that's being overrun by aliens. It's all seen through the eyes of a little kid, this little boy named Maxon. And he escapes with his mother. And they get on a shuttle that's evacuating the planet. But her mother, the mother had an alien inside her. And the book ended with the chest burster coming out of her. So this picks up right after that. They're on the ship. The alien, the chest burster alien, the little baby is slithering around in the shuttle, fucking with people. I guess blood from the alien has breached the hull of the ship, so they cannot go into orbit now. They can't go out into space because there's a hole in their ship. And there's also a storm, a wicked thunderstorm going on. So there's a lot of turbulence in the air. They end up crashing, and so they're out in like the middle of nowhere, and they're trying to radio into the spacecraft up in orbit to come down and rescue them. But then it turns out that the spacecraft comes crashing down. They're like, repeat, do not come. They finally contact that ship up in space, and they're like, do not come aboard. We're under attack, blah, blah, blah. So they've been overrun with aliens too, and that ship comes crashing down. So basically, they're fucked right now. Their ship has crashed. They're in the middle of nowhere, and there's another terraforming farm, like I don't know, down like to the west, and all the survivors have to go there now. So, and now there's an alien chasing them. So that's basically where it ends. They have to go get to this other facility, but they're out in the middle of nowhere. There's a storm, and there's an alien after them. So, and it's really cool. It's really intense. I like the tension, the suspense in the story. It's really getting to the original Alien. And everyone loves the second Aliens movie because it's all full of action, and the Space Marines is all cool.
Pretty much invented Halo, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. The quintessential sci-fi horror flick of all time. But this one is sort of more concentrating on the horror terror elements of the first movie, that haunted house slasher type of feel. And that's what I'm digging about this. It's really intense. It's like, damn, these people are fucked, So I'm eager for the next one. I give it a 5 out of 5.
Damn. Okay.
This was great. I blazed through this story, and I was like, oh, at the end, I was like, oh shit, So yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this last book, this is my book of the week. Yeah, this is my book of the week. I'm saving it for last. This is the book I'm going to review is Century Number 1.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't done a review of a Marvel book in a while, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one. It's funny because the cover art of Century Number 1 is the same cover we had for Superman 800. I don't know if that's a coincidence or Marvel's doing a slight jab or whatever. Oh, and this book is written by Jeff Lemire. Like I said, I know we don't usually call out the creators, but since it's Jeff Lemire, I think for all you guys that listen to the Valiant podcast, you probably heard that name a bunch of times. So yeah, he's writing this book, and it's pretty interesting. So basically, some backstory on this story. Sentry has basically been with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange has found a way to stop him because he has basically all these godlike Superman powers. But if he does it, the Void will show up also, which is like his exact opposite, that would do everything that will undo everything he did. So Doctor Strange has figured out a way to create a pocket dimension. He creates a pocket dimension. Sentry can go to this pocket dimension and just be the superhero he wants to be. He can beat Void, and whatever happens there won't affect our reality or Doctor Strange reality, or the 616, regardless. So the book opens up. We're in that other the pocket dimension, and Sentry's down there fighting the space army, just fighting them all of them, just beating the shit out of them. And then he's like, "It's too many of them." And then all of a sudden, his sidekick showed up, Scout, who flies in and starts beating up people. And then his sidekicks, and then his dog shows up. He's got a super dog named Watchdog or something. I can't remember. So he fights. And then this girl shows up who's the Centress. So it's like a whole Sentry family, whatever like that. So they're fighting in space army, stuff like that. And then he's talking to this watchtower called some clock or whatever like that. Like, I need to find the source of whoever's doing this, invading this space army. And the clock is like, okay, I found it. It's on the moon. and his sidekick Scout is like, "You need any help?" He's like, "No, I got this." So he goes to the moon and just destroys the moon. Like, fuck it, blows it up. And in the middle of the moon is the Void standing right there, and the Void is telling him, Sentry, you found me, but you still want to cover my evil scheme. And before he can even start talking, Sentry just grabs him and rips him in half. You know, like he did with Ares in the Siege book. So he rips him in half and then throws him in the sun. And he's like, okay, that's that.
Is Sentry, is he the guy that the more sadder he gets, the more powerful he is?
The thing is, they retcon Sentry's backstory so much. So that was one time. One time he was a drug addict. You know, basically he got his powers from this guy, and as long as he keeps taking this drug, he can get more powerful. And that's how Norman Osborn was able to control him for his Dark Avengers team, because he had access to the drug. You know, but something like that, like whatever he does, then he's gonna do the opposite of some bullshit. Anyway, so Sentry goes back to the Watchtower with a clock, and he goes with the Sentry family. He's like, well, time is up. I got to go back to the real world. He's like, are you sure you got to leave, Sentry? And then they ask him, but what about the moon? You just blew up the moon. I had to be back. Don't worry about it. Well, if the moon is back, then the Void will be back also. Yeah. So don't worry. I'll be back to stop him. So, and I'll see you guys in about 24 hours. So he walks through this teleport thing, and he shows up. He's in the real world. And when we see him in the real world, his name is Bob Reynolds. He's this fat dude, middle age, long beard, neck beard type dude, and he's just sitting in the room by himself, in the apartment by himself, you know, eating cereal, you know, brushing his teeth. He's just watching the clock, waiting the clock down, because he can't go back until 24 hours later. So he goes to work, and he's this cook at this diner. I think they're trying to throw in a joke for Bob's Burgers or some shit. I don't know. Maybe they did or not. So he's there cooking, and he's got this other guy with him, and like, okay, it's break time. So he and the other cook that's with him, they decide to take a break. And the break, and the cook asks him, the cook only has one arm, and he asks him, so what'd you do last night? And like, he didn't do much. He's like, no. What did you do? You're like, okay, I fought a space army last night. You're like, oh, cool. Okay, so he tells him the whole story. So he knows the whole story about what Sentry was doing in that pocket dimension, and he was telling him stuff like that. And he was like, so when are you gonna take me with you? That's what the other his coworker says to him. He's like, Billy, you know I can't take you with you. You remember what happened last time? So apparently, this Billy, his coworker that's with him, is Scout, like his sidekick from the regular dimension when he was Sentry here. And apparently during that last mission, he lost his arm. So he was like, but I want to come with you. He like, you know what happens if you come with me, because it wasn't the way Doctor Strange built it. Only I can go in. If you go in, something might get messed up. And you know, I can't do it here, because if I do it here, Boy will come in and will kill all of us. We're like, okay, well, and then they go back inside and they see the waitress, and Billy asks Bob, does the waitress know that she's in your fantasy also? They're like, don't tell her. That's your dream, pervert. That's on you. So he's sitting there counting down, waiting for the time to go at. Before he can do the countdown, all of a sudden these black vans show up, and hop out the van is Misty Knight. So apparently Misty Knight is his parole officer. She was like, you didn't check in with us the other night. He was like, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, Bob, I'm gonna let you off with a slap on the wrist this time. But if you miss your appointment next time, I'm going to come down here with some more agents. There's going to be some issues. He was like, Missy, don't worry. It's going to be no big deal. So he goes back home because he's just ready to get back to be Sentry again. So when he goes back to his house, he feel like he sees his house was already where his apartment was broken into. He goes into, everything was smashed, and the device he uses to go into the pocket dimension was stolen. So he's like, oh, crap. So in the pocket dimension, you see Scout and Watchdog. They're like, oh, he's coming. And the dog is barking because he happened to see Sentry again. He's like, yeah, boy, we're going to see him. And then soon as somebody steps out of the door of the pocket dimension and kills Scout and kills the dog. And they're like, don't worry, Scout. Everything's going to be okay because I'm here now. And that's how the book ends.
Cool.
So, yeah, like I said, pretty cool. I thought it was going to be a Superman ripoff book. But, yeah, Jeff Lemire took a different turn with it where, you know, he's Superman, but in the regular world, he's just a regular guy. And in this dimension, he's Superman, you know. So it's all in his mind, maybe. Pretty cool. I give it. But it's an interesting concept. I kind of want to see where it's going to go. I'm interested in seeing where it's going to go. And I give it a 4 out of 5 because I never liked Sentry before because I just thought there was just a version to make evil Superman or just a version so Avengers can beat up on him. But this is an interesting original take, so I like it. So yeah, that's all the books I got. You got any other books?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Definitely listen to Geek Sav, Eli's sister podcast, where they're gonna talk about Luke Cage, probably some other stuff on there also. Gonna try to run down the other books, other podcasts. Okay, we have This Geeks and Comics, we have Comic Cast, we have Get Valiant, we have Hoodoo TV, we have Instruments of Destruction. I'm probably forgetting another one, but that's all the ones we have. There's a list of all of them because just like I reviewed these books and just like Eli reviewed these books, they're gonna review these books also, and they're gonna have completely different interpretations or opinions of what they have because I've listened to their podcast before. They always say something different than what we said. But that's the beauty of having opinions, you know. I'm gonna run this contest one more week. Like I said, I've been doing a contest where I'm trying to give away a free game. I'm giving away Horizon 0 Hour. I don't know, whatever the fuck the game is on PlayStation 4 is free. You want it? All you got to do is just name the song at the end of this podcast. If you post a song somewhere or comment it or inboxes or whatever, it's a million ways to reach us. Just comment the song and we will mail it to you if you give us your email your address. Yeah, that being said, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And we will talk to you guys next week. Same bully time, same bully channel.
Cool.
And we got an epic one here.
Do we? Let's see. I got